Welcome to Halacha for Children. Today we're going to be learning that while we are wearing our tefillin, we're not allowed to be masiach das. We're not allowed to remove our mind and be present from the fact that we're wearing our tefillin. Starting with halacha number 1, while we are wearing our tefillin, there are 3 things that we're not allowed to do. Number 1 is we're not allowed to do schoik, which means excessive laughter. Number 2, we're not allowed to do sicha b'teila. We're not allowed to speak for no reason. And number 3 is we're not allowed to be in a state of kalus reish. We're not allowed to be in a state of lightheadedness, because doing any one of these 3 things shows that we were masiach das, that we've removed our mind, and we're not being present and showing the tefillin the proper respect. How do we know that we are supposed to be present when wearing our tefillin? We learn it from the tzitz. The Kohen Gadol used to wear a plate on his forehead, and the Torah says that v'haya al mitzchay tamid, it has to be constantly on his forehead. And Chazal learned what that means is that he has to be constantly mindful the entire time that he's wearing it. Why does he need to be mindful? Because on the tzitz Hashem's name was written. So kal v'chomer, how much more so when it comes to our tefillin, that Hashem's name is written in the parchment 21 times, that we have to be mindful the entire time that we are wearing them. And therefore, whenever a person remembers the tefillin that they are wearing, they have to touch their tefillin to be more mindful of them. Halacha number 2, during davening, a person does not need to touch their tefillin. We assume that they are present of the fact that they are wearing them. However, it's a minig yafa, it's a good minig to touch him when we mention the mitzvah during Kriya Shema. In the parsha of Yahavta and in the parsha of Ahayim Shemaya, we first mention regarding the hand tefillin, and we touch them first. And then we touch our head tefillin. The reason why we touch our hand tefillin first is because when we're taking our hand to touch them, we come into contact with the hand tefillin first. And based on the rule of ein mavirin al ha-mitzvah, not to pass over a mitzvah, we don't want to pass over the opportunity of touching the hand tefillin first. So we first touch the hand tefillin, and then we touch the head tefillin. It is minhag Chabad that in addition to touching the tefillin during Kriya Shema, we also touch it several other times. We touch it during Ashrei, when we say the pasuk of Pesach Es Yodecha. We also touch it when we say the pasuk of Yotzer Ar. We then touch it again during Ashrei after Shemona Esrei. And we touch it 2 more times when we're wearing tefillin de Rabbeinu Tam, during the paragraph of Kadesh Li and the paragraph of V'haya ki V'yacha.